Welcome back to Simon's Rants. I'm Simon. This is Justin, and today we just saw Monkey Man. These are our first thoughts. I thought it was good. What do you think? You think it was good? I thought it was great. It was so good. Yeah, tell me how you felt.
Well, that was a movie.
Oh, hi guys. We're giving you our first thoughts on Dev Patel's directorial debut, Monkey Man. He also stars in it. There's other people in it too.
Sure.
Yeah, and it was kind of heralded as and advertised as like an Indian John Wick type movie.
That's how I always described it.
It's not, and I don't mean that strictly in a negative way, also in a positive way, because it's artsier than John Wick.
Fair.
It's also not as necessarily action-packed, not to say there's not a lot of action, there is a lot of action, but it's not action-y like John Wick is, where the whole movie is action.
No.
And also, the action is just of a different caliber. John Wick knows the only thing it's got going for it is the action, and so puts everything they've got into the action, and it's phenomenal. I'll give it that. Not a fan of the John Wick franchise, but the action in those movies is very, very good. You know what else? You can see it.
That's true. That's true.
This movie had pretty decent action when you could see it, which was rare. The cinematography was so bad it gave me a headache. Some of the worst cinematography I've seen in a long time. It was obnoxiously close to everything, constantly out of focus, constantly moving. In the first scene is Dev Patel's character as a kid being told a story of the Monkey Man by his mom, and they're showing the book she's like reading from or something, or the tapestry, whatever we're looking at, and it's so close and out of focus. I'm like, what is happening? And the movie doesn't really ever let up. There's a couple of moments. There's one steady shot to show a couple, because we needed to see that, and there's a couple more decently distance shots. Yeah, okay. Hi, Justin.
Hey.
How did you enjoy the movie?
So I felt very much the same as you did. Now, I have to say, I am a fan of the dumb action film. Now, I'm not saying this exactly was a dumb action film, but I am a fan
of your John
that
Wick,
genre.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or even dumber. Like you can enjoy a Fast and Furious.
I love Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
You know, I need to know what it is, and they know what they are.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
John Wick. I love John Wick. It's great. I love being able to see the action. The world is okay. Before John Wick, my favorite hand-to-hand combat action series at the time was the Bourne trilogy, the original Bourne trilogy.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And I love the Bourne trilogy. I've seen it so many times. I've shown it to people who haven't seen it before. I still love the Bourne trilogy. But it's hard to go back to that after John Wick Steadicam, perfectly in frame shots, perfectly in frame action. I went into this movie expecting Indian John Wick. I told everyone that this looked like Indian John Wick. And story-wise, disregard the action, story-wise, comparable to Indian John Wick.
Your typical revenge kind of thing. Okay, I shouldn't say completely typical, because there is some politics in there on multiple levels, like social politics as well as politics, and then a little bit of religious commentary. But yeah, for the most part, it's your standard revenge.
Right. So, in story, similar to John Wick. Yeah. In action, this is the Bourne trilogy. But where maybe it's because I'm a big fan. Maybe I'm just looking back at the Bourne trilogy with really rose-colored goggles or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe I just love it so much I forgive it. But this was like the Bourne trilogy's camera work on steroids. And then tossing in the extreme close-ups, the extreme cuts, the weird angles, the, hey, action's going on. If the camera's moving, that's action, right? You feel like you're in this, right?
It wasn't even during action sequences, though. Like I'm saying, the opening scene, they're reading a book, and it's like, here's her mouth. That's all you need to see. Okay, now here's his one eye. All right, now here's half of the book. And it's like, We don't need that. And there was multiple times in action sequences where something would be happening on screen, but the camera was moving and whatever was happening was moving, and I legitimately had no idea what I just saw.
The action scenes are so unintelligible, it's wild. And I swear, looking back at the Bourne fights, I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought this was the pinnacle of action at a certain time. And it's just, this is so much crazier, and yet it feels very similar.
Yeah. I mean, there's points where, I mean, I've said it to you during it. Somebody is attacking somebody else, and then there's a reversal, and then somebody got thrown through glass. And I did not know who got thrown through the glass until they paused as he was laying on the ground.
Everybody's got dark clothing. Everybody's cut and bleeding. It's always bad lighting. It's always shaky cam. It's always blurry. It's always supposed to just be like, oh, we're right there in the middle of the action, you know, a war camera shot. That gave me the biggest headache. That just the one ultra long fight scenes chained back to back with all that camera work before it slowed. Before this isn't even a spoiler. Before the river, and then it slowed down right afterwards. Yeah, right. Just like the 15-20 minutes of that.
Yeah.
It has given me the biggest headache I've gotten from a movie in so long.
Yeah, I will say there's about 2 scenes that are ridiculously good an hour into this movie. That hour getting to those scenes was so frustrating, not only just for the action of it all, but for the pacing and the storytelling. Going, what are we doing? What, like, the movie opens with a scene where he's a fighter. You see that in the trailer. He's the monkey man. He takes falls on purpose to get money. Okay. Oh, but he's not getting paid as much as he thought he was going to. Seen that a million times. Okay, so now he's going to do something. He's going to get revenge on somebody. Oh, is he going to get revenge on the guy that's stiffing him? Nope. He wants to go get this woman. Who's this woman? You find out later, okay, so he needs to go over here. All right, so he's doing that. Oh, there's this random guy. He stole a purse. Oh, he gave it to her. Who gave it to him? Who gave it to him? Who gave it to her? Who gave it to him? Who gave it to Dev Patel? Is he a crime lord? How does he know all these people? How did he orchestrate all this? That never gets explained. He just, I guess, has 12 friends. And he said, guess what we're doing this Sunday? You know, like, what? And then so he gets a job working for this lady. We don't know why. We have a couple of flashbacks to do with his mom, and like you can tell somebody did something. Somebody died, okay, guessing it's his mom, so revenge, okay, and we're given like tiny little pieces, and I get, all right, in storytelling, you don't want to blow your load too early. You want to give us a little bit, when it's the character's motivation, the main reason we're watching a movie, I want to know right away. I don't need to be hidden from me, and we shouldn't have to wait an hour to get the scene that goes, oh, now I empathize, now I sympathize with this character. It took an hour. I literally timed it. I found the time that the movie started, and that moment was an hour later. I'm like, why? Why did we take so long? I didn't care about anything happening until that scene. Also, I have a hard time rooting for a main character who's a moron. This whole movie could have been over in 15 minutes, but he thought more about killing the person he wanted to kill than actually trying to kill him. He thought about it a lot.
Yeah. It took a while to put together that simple plan, those multiple attempts, and
he also just sat around shooting at a wall. Because
it was target practice, man.
Well, the first shot was ridiculously bad, which I laughed at, because if you've ever fired a pistol, it's really easy. It's not hard at all.
Hey, listen. All right, I went to a gun range exactly once. I have fired exactly 2 different guns. All right, first one was a .22.
Okay,
I was kind of accurate. All right,
exactly, kind of accurate.
Then they got me a 9mm. All right, I didn't hit the target for a while. So,
but regardless, he misses the first shot by like a couple of feet.
Yeah, he's got that 6-shot revolver. It's got some kick, man.
And then after that, his second shot, he hits the face of the target, not dead center, but he hits the face.
Working on it.
And then the third shot, he's hitting dead center. Yeah. But he's like, I really need to go back to that gun salesman and buy a lot more ammo, and I can do this 20 more times. Because we don't see all the shots take place, but we see the amount of holes in the wall, and there's like 20 of them. It's like, why?
Listen, man. This is why you buy in bulk, all right? So he doesn't have to go back every time, all right? He's just got cases on cases.
He just went to Costco.
Yeah.
All right. What is an objective rating? There was some very artistic shots. There was a couple of really good scenes. The acting all around was very good.
Yeah, fair.
I could not enjoy the movie because of the camera work.
Insane.
And because of the plot. I shouldn't say the plot, because the plot is at its core interesting. It was just so poorly told and paced horribly.
Yeah.
So I'm between a 5 and a 6 because I can't say it's a terrible movie. It's just, it wasn't enjoyable.
I'm willing to give it a 5 for the headache it gave me, but like, I gotta say, it's pretty disappointing. I was very interested in this movie, not for the story, just for the action.
Yeah.
And honestly, the little tidbits of story and the little tidbits of his backstory are by far the most interesting thing.
Yeah,
probably the only interesting thing to me. The action was just alright at parts, and most other parts downright annoying.
All right, anyway, we're getting to spoilers. So if you don't want anything spoiled, go watch it for yourself. Come back, and then we can talk about it then. But don't forget to like, share, and if you're new here, subscribe. Thanks, guys. Bye. So, spoilers. How much bleach do you have to snort before you die? Because he was fine. He was fine. He got a nosebleed, but you get a nosebleed from cocaine. You don't need bleach to cause a nosebleed. What the fuck was that about? I'm Googling that. How much cocaine? That's a very different question. How much bleach do you need before you die?
Yo, this review. The cuts are quick and the sound effects are bone crunching. And were it not for an extended lull in the middle of the movie, it would be an exhilarating ride. That extended lull in the middle of the movie was my favorite part.
It was the only good part in the movie. Man, if only they didn't tell a story, man. Then I would have enjoyed it.
Like all the stuff about his family past. I understand some of the camera work was.
Coronavirus cannot be cured by drinking bleach or snorting cocaine. Damn it! 2020 was a fucked up time, man. Wild ride.
I miss those roads though. All the stuff about his past, even though some of the camera work was kind of screwed up at the time. I was interested in what was going on in the political landscape of India at the time with the police and the corruption and stuff.
Oddly enough, snorting bleach is not a common thing.
I wouldn't think.
So it's hard to find facts on this. I don't know. I was expecting it to kill him. But anyway, back to basics. How did he not fucking kill him in the first 15 minutes of this movie? How? I could have done it. I could have killed him. Would I have gotten arrested and killed? Yeah. I still would have killed the guy. He dies at the end of the movie anyway. He could have died in the first 15 minutes. This movie could have been 15 minutes long.
Yeah, I guess at the beginning he wanted to go in a way where, it'd be perfectly fine in the end.
No, well, that's stupid. He gets him to snort the bleach, so he goes to the bathroom, then he gets the gun that he's finally ready to use. It took him 10 years to decide he was going to shoot him.
Hey, all he had to do was go to target practice and train a dog to bring the gun to him.
And then go to target practice, 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 go to target.
Every day he was going to target practice, he was feeding that dog some scraps. All right?
Yeah. $8 million
train him all around.
And so then he's standing next to him and he goes, something, my mom. And goes to shoot him, but then gets distracted, so doesn't shoot him. Then they end up in an all-out brawl where you're like, action, here we go.
Oh yeah, he goes to pull the gun and shoot him, and then somebody steps out the stall.
Yeah, the guy's bodyguard
and
comes out the stall, so he gets distracted. So then they're smacking each other around. Halfway through the fight, the bad guy goes, shit, I've got a knife. He forgot about it until then, so he starts attacking him with the knife. And so then he gets stabbed in the leg. He pulls it out of his own leg, stabs the bad guy in the head or neck somewhere, but doesn't kill him somehow. He just goes, and he goes,
it kind of
falls over.
Slashes his skull. I'm assuming it hit him in the head and maybe glanced off his skull.
And
I guess
then
that was the effect they're going for.
He also, this whole time, is practically murdering the bodyguard. I think he was alive, but unconscious. And then the police are coming. So he starts looking for a way to get out. Meanwhile, the bad guy is incapacitated on the ground because you just beat the shit out of him. And there's a gun 2 feet away from you. But you're like, I need to get out of here instead of killing him. And then the bad guy wakes up and then he has to run away. And you wasted the rest of the movie when you could have just shot him right then and there. It was so dumb. It's so painfully stupid. And that's what I'm saying. I have a hard time rooting for characters that are dumb. Because I'm just like, I could have done this, dude. I could have done this. And the running away and being stupid and
Yeah, and it's
running
just,
through a brothel. So then he fights a guy in a brothel. The guy that owns the brothel has an axe, and so he attacks him with the axe and then leans in really close for some reason, so he bites his nose. And then that was so fun. Let's do that again.
Honestly, that might have been my favorite fight in the movie, mostly because the biting of the nose scenes were funny.
Twice. He did it twice.
Yeah.
And then later in the elevator, he stabs the guy in the neck, but only halfway. And so then he reaches down and he pushes it in with his mouth.
The man is clearly a One Piece fan. Zoro is his inspiration.
I thought for a second that, okay, Dev Patel has like some, I don't know if integrity is the right word, but like he wasn't using gratuitous nudity, and he could have, because there's these models all around all the time, and they're wearing kind of skimpy stuff, so it's like you expect them to be topless or something, and none of them are. So it's like, okay.
They're clearly there to fuck these guys, whether they want to be.
They're high-class prostitutes is what they are. And so you're like, okay, he could have done this a lot grosser than he did or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, respect. And then the scene in the brothel was, but let's show some titties, dude. Let's show some titties. That's the whole point of that scene, was to show off some nudity. And I was like, really, dude?
It had been...
Like I said, that was the one time there was like Steadicam in the whole movie, was to show the couple having sex.
It had been so crazy, because this was in the middle of like that 20 minutes of wild headache-inducing Steadicam, where it just went one fight scene to another, one location to another, shaky cam, cuts out of nowhere, and then just perfectly still for like 3 seconds to just watch these people in this brothel just fucking doggy style.
There's also this other shot where it's like them either about to fight or fighting, and the camera shot is through another couple having sex, so there's just a boob silhouette right in your face, and I was like,
There are some camera work and directorial choices here I would have never expected.
Yeah.
I don't recommend them, but I'm no expert. I know nothing about movies. Do you recommend them,
no.
Mr. Director?
There was I will say there was some cool looking things in the movie.
Yeah, there was a lot of really interesting ideas that I thought were taken in the completely wrong way.
The titty silhouette was one of the cool looking things. I will give it that. I just want to shot that personally.
Listen, I will say the movie was very much at times going for funny. And when it went for funny, it fairly landed, and I thought the sex shot was hilarious. Was it out of place, jarring as hell, and in the middle of the most headache-inducing part of the movie? Yeah. But was it the best part of the most headache-inducing part of the movie?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think biting him on the nose twice in a row.
Oh, was that part of that scene too?
Yeah.
Okay, then yes, that was.
That was my favorite part of the movie. Well, funny-wise, the actual best part of the movie was the 2 scenes in there where, so he goes on this, like, drug-induced trip because he can't kill the bad guy until he knows why he wants to kill the bad guy, which is incredibly stupid, because I think he knew why he wanted to kill him the whole time, because he met him and said regards from my mother, or whatever the hell he said, blessings from my mother.
He's clearly doing it for his mom, but it's like but
he's not doing
it for the trip. It was like, no, but you can't do this out of revenge. You've got to do this out of, what did you say?
Revenge. Italicized revenge.
It's like you don't do this for your mom. You do this for you, or for the people, or whatever.
Yeah, some kind of bullshit like that.
Yeah.
But so it's stupid that they're doing it. But then once he takes the drugs, it was the best part of the movie, because you get a little trippy stuff that I was like, what are we doing? This is actually kind of felt like drugs. It was so weird and abstract. But then you get the actual meat of the flashbacks, and you're like, oh, this movie could have been great if the whole movie was that.
The flashbacks, a lot of parts of them, and the political turmoil in the country were the most interesting things. I don't think they were focused on nearly enough.
No.
And the rest of it was so jarring, and again, I can't stop saying it, because I have not had a movie give me a headache in so long.
No. I, within half an hour, was wondering how soon it was going to be over. I don't walk out of movies, really. I've walked out of one movie in my life, ever. And I was like, I
guess I've never done that.
I kind of want to leave. Yeah, it was tiring.
I was very much excited for this one. Like,
I was too.
Like,
for the first
I will 5 say,
minutes.
I don't know what exactly Dev Patel needs, because I'm sure he's going to make more movies.
Director.
Probably so. But at the very
Because
least,
he's a great actor. He is. I enjoy his acting a lot.
at the very least, the guy needs someone to direct the action for him.
Right. I mean, to be fair, it could be the DP's fault.
Yeah.
Although the cinematographer has done good movies. He did Whiplash. I'm trying to remember the cinematography in Whiplash being weird or anything. Like, there's definitely close-ups when he's drumming and stuff, but nothing like this. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe he just never done like a major action scene before. I'm trying to remember what else he's been the DP for.
I'm just trying to think of other like action films that are just like, hey, if we do crazy cuts and angles and close-ups, you'll like this action, right? This means it's really good action, right? Honestly, outside of Bourne, the only thing I can think of is Liam Neeson jumping over that fence.
What?
Isn't that the famous like 20 cut scene or 20 cuts in one scene? Like,
I have never seen that before. That looked like Bollywood. That's a good point, though. Actually, now that I wonder about it, I'm wondering if there was Bollywood influence on this.
There might be, and I am not familiar. I should have definitely, because I thought about that in the movie and then forgot when we came outside because of the headache. But yeah, I have not seen many Bollywood films, and I could definitely see some potential Bollywood influence just going over my head here.
Right, because the amount of crazy cinematography in Bollywood movies, I mean, this was toned down in comparison, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, they mainly do, like, soap operas and stuff, or at least, I shouldn't speak out of turn, I don't know that, but, like, that's their most famous stuff, is their soap operas. So it's like somebody says something, you go,
Yeah.
just to somebody saying something. It kind of feels like an homage of sorts to that genre. Granted, there's no tigers being thrown around or buildings being jumped over or
Like,
dance sequences.
That sort of
but
stuff feels like it would be more in place in a more over-the-top movie.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, it felt like Dev Patel was kind of trying to marry classic Bollywood with a more serious American style action movie and saying, like, see, look, we can still do this kind of stuff, but bring it into the now, you know, make it modern, spice it up a little bit. And maybe that's what he was trying to do, in which case, cool. I didn't like it, though. I mean, but I don't like Bollywood.
I just haven't seen much Bollywood, but Bollywood feels like a thing I'd be very into. Over-the-top action.
Sure.
Over-the-top movies.
Did you watch RRR?
I have not actually.
You saw
And
clips
I really,
of it, yeah.
I really wanted to watch. I don't know why I didn't see that one yet, but it looks.
Because it's 4 hours or whatever it is.
Oh, okay, that's probably why. Yeah,
Maybe
but like it looks over the top as hell, and I'm all for that. But again, it just feels like that sort of camera work would fit more there, maybe.
Yeah.
And I bet even I would still find it really jarring.
Even
there.
like RRR, they don't do that crazy camera work. RRR kind of felt more like a Fast and Furious, like they were trying to.
That's
do
what. That's the vibe I get
Yeah.
from a lot of Bollywood, from non musical Bollywood movies. That's a lot of the.
all
or, like,
Bollywood is musical.
Okay, I guess the more action-based
Yeah.
Bollywood movies. That's the vibe I get more of.
Because RRR is a musical, they dance and stuff
Yeah, I guess I forgot
in the
that.
middle of the movie, just because they can.
Why not, man? It's perfect.
I think that's the most disappointed I've been by a movie in a long time.
Recently, same. Usually when I'm going to see something and it ends up being bad, I expected it going in.
Yeah.
At least a little bit.
I don't
And
know.
I didn't see this one. I didn't see this coming like this. I just really wish I fully understood what was going on in the background of this struggle.
It would have made a better political drama than
Yeah.
what the hell it was.
So much more. Just and especially since those were generally the moments. I know the camera work was sometimes screwy, but those were generally the moments where everything got calmer.
Yeah.
The shots got stiller. We got to actually let the characters, be characters. And
Yeah.
let the story breathe a little.
Oh, God. All right. I think that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. I need a nap.
I was going to do some work, but I have a feeling I'm going to smoke and immediately fall asleep in my chair.
Yeah.
It's like, brain, just shut up for a while.
Yeah. Deserves it. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.